Hello, most illustrious members of the Detail. I'm your host D, and today's video is a tale of intrigue, drama, and the meltdown of a community of boomer music nerds. I hope you enjoy. So, like I said, today's video is about drama, but just to allay your fears, it isn't interpersonal drama. It isn't streamer fighting or any of that kind of mundane, boring, normal stuff that we have all the time. I find that really boring. I prefer not to engage with it. This is much better. This is drama revolving around a certain Facebook page called The Greatest Album of the Decade. Now, I don't follow this page. I don't use Facebook to do much of anything besides spread leftist agitprop these days. But the reason this page was recommended to me will become clear in a moment. Put a pin in it. This page was running, as the name suggested, over the course of the last month, a bracket for the best album of the decade, and that decade was 1950. When I saw the page at first, assumed it would be this decade. That is inaccurate. So they were running an album for bracket for best album of 1950. Okay, so full disclosure, I was born in 1990. I don't listen to much music made earlier than like a few years ago. I'm very up to date on what I listen to. I have no affinity nor rose-colored glasses for any bygone era, and I do not really care for the genres that would be present in such a bracket as 1950s American music. If you can't tell by the avatar and the branding, I really am a rap fan first and foremost. So, like, why am I talking about this? Like, how did I even hear about all of this? The short answer is because I'm trans, which means that I've played Fallout New Vegas for something like 400 hours. And some of you probably laughed and already see where this is going. But one of the albums included was Marty Robbins' Gunfighter Ballads, something. There's some other part of the title, but it literally doesn't matter because it's called Gunfighter Ballads, but it might as well be called Big Iron. And I cannot for the life of me tell if this was an oversight by the page admins, if it was bait, or if they genuinely just thought that Gunfighter could be a contender for the best album of the decade. But the reaction was immediate and overwhelming. So to give some context, here is a screenshot of the first round of voting. And this is between Miles Davis and Frank Sinatra. And you can see at the bottom here, the total number of votes for both sides is less than 3,000, 2.7, right? So here is round one. Here's round one of Marty versus Buddy Holly. We have 18,000 votes. I want you to know 16,000 of those are for Marty Robbins. 16 of those 18,000. So Marty Robbins got 5 times as many votes as both contenders from the other round one of this bracket. Just a blowout. And the thing is, people were like confused, right? Like people were like not understanding. Like, wow, people really love Marty Robbins. But like, it happens again and again and again. And people are getting like more and more confused. And in the final round, he gets paired up against Miles Davis, Kind of Blue. And the writing is on the wall for what was about to happen. And voting opens and Gunfighter murders the other album. Like, it's not even a contest. Marty has 14,000 votes to Miles' 6,500. And by now, most people have caught on that something weird is going on. Some of them explicitly realize that it's a video game thing, even if they don't really understand. But most of them can't even really parse that there's like what a meme is, because it's like they're quite out of touch. If you are someone who's probably like actively listened to all these albums when they came out, even if you were like a child, if you were like a kid and like your parents really like these, and these are of your parents' age, like, you probably don't understand internet meme culture, and it ends up really showing. So I'm gonna read out here on screen. Turns out that most people actively hate music and can't comprehend meaning beyond lyrics. Now listening to Gunfighter Ballads to check what the hell that album is that is beating Miles Davis. It's nice, but it's nowhere near the revolutionary brilliance of Miles Davis, and that's an objective statement of fact. If this is the outcome of the process, there's something wrong with the process, or with the majority of people voting. Just fascism. They're just literally like, I'd rather do fascism than democracy. I know better than the people. I'm an authoritarian. This is so funny. Okay. And then we got, somehow Marty Robbins is going to win this, and that's ridiculous. I enjoy Robbins' album for what it is, but Buddy Holly is the genius of rock and roll, along with Chuck Berry and Little Richard, who were already tossed, so I suppose it is what it is. So, like, the poll is over, and Gunfighter Ballads is officially the greatest album of the decade, as decided by one obscure Facebook page. And obviously, this all counts for less than nothing. Like, this channel is a fun diversion. It's some laughs, but nothing about the world has changed. But just, I love this so much. For the last month, I've been sending my wife these memes that you've hopefully seen scrolling across the screen, if I can get that to work in editing. Every time a new poll goes live and Gunfighter inevitably wins, there's just like an onslaught of them. I've been in bed cackling at the newest comment by some clueless boomer explaining why jazz is actually the best form of music and country music isn't good. And the implication is that you shouldn't enjoy things that aren't high art. And I don't think they really think that, right? I think they're profoundly confused. Like, how is this popcorn movie outshining their Citizen Kane, right? And they're trying to make sense of it. And like, I've been there, trust me, like, I understand. But the whole series of interactions and the signaling and the posturing being done in these comment sections is so profoundly funny to me. And it reminds me of the cult that formed around the helix fossil during the height of Twitch Plays Pokemon. Or when saltybet was first popular, and my friends and I would go watch it on Friday nights like it was a sporting event. Or it's happening now, the first season of Nothing Forever. I guess it just ended. And everyone in chat is just like listening to what amounts to basically new age Twitch TV static, right? Like waiting for a clip that they can grab and try to extrapolate meaning from. It's like an Ouroboros, right? It's like AI generating content for humans to try to pull meaning from the AI trying to pull meaning from humans. It's all so interesting. It's these unique experiences that I've only ever gotten from niche internet interest groups. They're like liminal moments that must be experienced and can't really be recounted otherwise. But I'm gonna try anyway, I guess. So thank you so much for listening. If you're still here, this video is not my usual fare. And if you're a Marvel Snap player and like a long-time viewer, I will be back to making videos on the game in a few days. I have a lot of work stuff going on. There's going to probably be a gap over the next couple of days, but next week, I promise I'll be back. I'm not going to ask you to subscribe. If you're here by random happenstance, you're not one of my usual viewers, you probably won't enjoy my usual content because it isn't like this. Unless you're a card game player, in which case, by all means, do subscribe. Like, I'm not going to stop you. A like goes a long way, I think. I don't really know. And this video took way longer than my usual stuff, and I'm not even sure, like, I'm just scripting and recording right now, and I don't know if it's going to turn out notably better when I go to edit it, so a like would be really, really great. Thank you. I hope that you have a great day, and I will see you all tomorrow.